Yes, hello everyone. Yes, Aman, Priyanka,
Good evening, sir.
good evening, good evening. Yes, Suleiman and Shreya, how are you guys doing?
Good, sir.
All right. Hope my screen is visible. I am visible and I'm audible properly to everyone in the class.
Yes, sir.
Okay. First of all of you turn your cameras on in the class. By the way, am I visible to everyone or not?
No, sir.
Not yet? Okay, just 1 minute. There has to
So
be an
your
option.
screen is also no, sir. Your screen is visible.
Yeah, screen is visible that I can also see. Just give me a minute. Okay. All right. So far in the chapter, we did learn about various concepts. We did learn about parts of blood, right? In the circulatory system, we were learning about functions of blood, different parts of bloods, right? So far, we have learned about blood plasma. We have learned about red blood cells, white blood cells, blood platelets. We have learned about their functions, right? We would be quickly recalling the functions of those parts of the bloods, and then we'd be
Sir, I
continuing from
was
blood
not
vessel.
available in some previous classes, sir. Can you please tell what has happened in those previous classes?
Okay, I think in some of the classes you were present, but your network connection was not stable. In the previous
Sir,
classes, we did learn about. Hmm.
sir, from seventh on, I was not present.
Oh, okay. So see, in the chapter so far, guys, we have learned about blood. We have learned about the functions of blood and different parts of the blood. So we did learn about that blood is kind of acting as the medium of transportation of essential substances inside our body. So blood would be carrying like oxygen from the lungs to then it would carry the oxygen from the lungs to the heart, and heart will pump the oxygenated blood to different parts of the body. We also learned that blood carries the waste materials also, like carbon dioxide, like urea, etc. Okay. Then we were learning about that blood also has got a role in maintaining the temperature of the body. Right now, that was also one of the function of the blood. We learned about different components of the blood so far in the class. We did learned about plasma. In the beginning, we did learn about blood plasma, right? We learned its function. Okay. So we learned that our blood almost 55% of the 55 to 60% of total blood is just plasma. And this plasma is itself made up of 95% of water. And this plasma contains essential things like it contains minerals, glucose, proteins, fats, right? All these things are found in the plasma. So main role of plasma was to take nutrients, proteins, glucose, minerals, and other important cells to and other important blood cells to different parts of the body wherever it would be required. For example, we have an injury where platelets are required. Say, for example, we have an injury in our 1 minute. Yeah. For example, we have an injury somewhere. So wherever an injury is there, thereby platelet will be required. What is the function of platelets? Yes, Suleiman.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. What is the function of platelet? Platelets helps in coagulation of the blood. It
Yes,
develops
sir.
a clot, thereby prevents the bleeding of prevents the loss of blood. So wherever platelet would be required, plasma will carry that platelet. Okay, now because all of them will be kind of floating in the plasma. So we did learn about that also. We did learn about white blood cells. So white blood cells basically develops your immune system. They develops your immune system and helps you fight against various pathogens. Pathogens are the disease causing microorganisms. So white blood cells would be fighting against the bacteria, viruses, and other microorganisms that enters our body. Okay. Also, we did learn about red blood cells, which are also called as erythrocytes. Okay. So their main function is to carry oxygen. How do they do so? they have a pigment called as hemoglobin, and this hemoglobin will bind with the oxygen, and thereby it becomes oxyhemoglobin. So oxygen in the form of oxyhemoglobin is transported to different parts of your body. So that was the main function of red blood cell, which we have learned in the previous class. We did learn about blood platelets also in the previous classes, and right now, and also we started learning about the blood vessels. So I did told you guys that blood vessels are kind of tube-like structures inside your body, in which blood would be flowing. There are mainly three type of blood vessels. What are they? What are the three types of blood vessels we have to study about?
Artery, capillaries, and veins.
And veins. Very good. Okay, now I see that only one of you have turned your camera on. Others, what happened to you guys? Turn your cameras on in the class. So we were learning about artery in the previous class. So talking about the arteries, their main function would be to carry the blood from the heart to different parts of the body. Okay, now so they would be carrying the blood, or more specifically, they would be carrying oxygenated blood. They would be carrying that blood from the heart that contains oxygen. So they will carry that blood to different parts of the body. Furthermore, have a look at this image. I want all of you to look at the two images over here. Look at the image of artery and look at the image of vein. What difference do we find in them?
Color difference.
Mm-hmm. How are they different from each other? Artery, their inner wall is more thicker, while veins have a thin wall. Okay, now here it is written also. So you can clearly read this, that the arteries have thin wall, but veins have arteries have thick wall, but veins have thin wall. Okay. Now, how it is helpful for the artery? Meaning that why arteries have thick wall? So the reason being that heart would be pumping the blood at a good amount of pressure in the arteries. Heart would be pumping the blood into the artery. So thereby its walls are thicker. Okay, now the reason why the artery is thicker, because heart pumps the blood into artery. Getting it? A heart pumps the blood into the artery. So hope that is clear to everyone. So arteries have their main function is to carry oxygenated blood from the heart to different parts of the body. Okay. Now later on we would be learning about that smaller arteries are also found in your body that would be called as arterioles. When you would be learning about blood capillary, there you will get to learn about smaller arteries. Like I want all of you to pay close attention to this image. This is an artery, the red one. Okay, it is big in size. Then look at this one. This is also artery, but this is smaller in size. So thereby this is called as arterioles. What do we call these as? Arterioles. Yes, Aman, what do we call this? The smaller arteries are called as arterioles. Everyone getting this? Priyanka, Abu Bakr, Suleiman?
Sir, it is called the arteries.
No, the smaller arteries are called as arterioles. Let me write this over here.
Okay, sir.
Smaller arteries. We are going to learn about that in a moment. Okay, no? Okay. So the following things we have learned so far about the arteries. The first thing we learned that they would be carrying blood away from the heart. And the blood that they would be carrying away from the heart, that blood is rich in oxygen. Okay, now that blood is rich in oxygen. Okay. So all the arteries would be carrying that blood which has got oxygen in it, except for one type of artery, which we would be looking at later on, that will be pulmonary artery. So all the artery in your body, it carries the oxygenated blood, except for this pulmonary artery, except for this pulmonary artery. So what are the things so far we have learned? Yes, Abu Bakr. Priyanka, you were saying?
Sir, like what all we have learned?
Regarding artery. The first thing we learned that arteries carries. Okay, Shreya, will you answer this?
Arteries contain oxygen-rich blood from the
But we just read.
heart to the cells.
Hmm. Okay, and next are the walls of the arteries. Regarding that, what we learned, they are thicker. Like as we can see in this image, they are thicker. Okay, na? Suleiman, can you hear me? Why you are not responding in class? So their walls are thicker. Okay. Furthermore, smaller arteries are called as
Arterioles.
arterioles. Listen to me and then pronounce it. Arterioles. Arterioles. Okay.
Arterioles.
Hmm.
Arterioles.
Good. Okay, no? And arterioles are kind of branched off from the arteries. Like you can see over here in this image that they are branching off from the artery. You understand a branching off, the spreading from a artery, branching off from this artery. Okay. Just like you see that branches come out of a stem, in the similar manner, the arterioles are coming out of this artery. And arterioles are the smaller arteries. Okay, no? Okay. So the things which we have learned so far, the first thing which we learned that it would be carrying oxygenated blood away from the heart. Next thing we learned that the walls of the arteries are thicker. Hmm. Then smaller arteries are called as arterioles. Now, except for the pulmonary artery, all the arteries would be carrying oxygenated blood. Except for the pulmonary artery, all the arteries would carry oxygenated blood. Okay, now. So you guys would be writing the following important points which I'm telling you guys to write. Okay, now give the heading arteries. In this, first of all, give the following definition. Write down the first definition. Have you guys written this already? The first definition
Yes, sir.
in the
No,
previous
sir.
class?
No,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, if you not, then write this. After this, you will write that next point you will be writing that arteries have thicker walls. Okay. Since heart pumps blood into it with pressure. That is the second line you guys will be writing. After this, you will write the third line. Smaller arteries are called arterioles. Okay, then furthermore, last line you will write, except in pulmonary artery, the blood contains, you will write this thing. Except in the pulmonary artery, all arteries so the last line you have to write, except for the pulmonary arteries, all arteries carry oxygen. Okay, now here you will stop the points. Okay. Suleiman, you writing this? Aman and Abu Bakr. Today after the class, all of you guys would be doing one thing, that you guys will share the pictures of the notes which you have written so far. Okay,
Sir,
everyone.
this lesson?
Yeah, of this lesson, particularly of today's lesson. Okay,
Okay,
just
sir.
just take a rough picture of it and then send it. No need to make PDF or anything. Just need to confirm whether you guys are making notes or not. You guys understood this reason why arteries have thick walls?
Yes, sir.
The reason is
Because the
Because
heart comes
this
with
heart,
high pressure.
yes, sir.
hmm, because the blood pressure is high in these blood vessel in this kind of blood vessel. Okay, na? The pressure at which blood is being pumped into it is very high. That is why. Okay, na? You guys done writing?
Sir, I finish except for the pump like that.
Okay, okay.
Should we write in all arteries? Blood
Yeah,
carries.
yeah. Except for the pulmonary arteries, all arteries carry oxygen. Okay. Now, an important point I'm going to tell you guys. Okay, na? See, in the blood vessels, particularly in some blood vessels like in veins and in our heart also, by the way, a structure called as valves are found. A structure like this will be found. Okay, na? It will be kind of looking like this. Now, the reason why these kind of structures are present in the blood vessels is to prevent the backflow of the blood. Like blood is flowing in one direction, so this will ensure that blood keeps on flowing in one direction. Getting it? Like if the blood were to start flowing in the opposite direction, like in this direction, then this will close or it will stop the backflow of the blood. So in the blood vessels, particularly in veins, you are going to learn that structures like this valve is present that prevents the backflow of blood. So it ensures that the blood flows in one direction and thereby preventing the backflow of the blood. And they would be found in the veins, which we'll be learning later on. So this structure called as valve is absent in arteries. Okay, na? So last line you will be writing down that valves are absent in arteries. Valves are absent in arteries.
And sir,
Done? Everyone done writing this?
Yes, sir.
Good. Suleiman, you guys are not responding. What happened to you guys? Suleiman, Aman, and Abu Bakr. Yes, Aman. You guys there in the class? Suleiman, Aman, and Abu Bakr. Okay. See, your active participation is recorded in the class. Okay. We were learning about a structure called as blood valve. Okay, na? So in this, I was telling you that these structures would be present. Okay, okay. Good, Abu Bakr. So it is present there in the blood vessels in order to stop the backflow of the blood. We are going to learn about its working, but first of all, have a look at its structure. It would be present. Will it be absent or present in arteries? What did I told you about that?
Absent in arteries.
Okay, no? It should be absent in arteries. Okay, give me 1 minute. Let me quickly take one image of it. Otherwise, you guys won't grasp the concept what I'm trying to tell. Meanwhile, you guys tell me what is the another name of white blood cells? Yes, anyone?
Sir, lipstick, lithium,
Mm-hmm. Yes, you were saying correct, by the way, Priyanka. Others also try.
lithonocytes, lithonocytes.
Leukocytes. Okay, na? They are leukocytes. Oh, all right now. Just give me 1 more minute. Okay. Yeah, look at this structure over here. See, a structure called as valve is present in some blood vessels, particularly in veins. Now, what happens that in the case of arteries, what we have learned that blood pressure is quite high. The pressure at which blood is being pumped into the arteries, it is quite high. So there is no chance that the blood will start to flow in the other direction. Say this is heart. Heart would be pumping the blood, and with great pressure, the blood will flow in unidirection. That it will flow unidirectionally. It will flow in just one direction. Right now, so blood will keep on flowing in one direction in the case of artery because it is being pumped at a high pressure. But in the case of veins, the blood is not being pumped at high pressure. Okay. So what happens? Sometimes the blood might start returning back towards the heart. If the blood, in the case of veins, here this is the image of veins. This is being this image is about the veins. Okay, because valves are present in the veins only, and in the heart and some other parts of the body. So in the case of veins, the blood pressure is not high. So thereby the backflow of blood can occur. The backflow of blood can occur. So whenever the backflow of blood can occur, in the second image you can see the backflow of blood is taking place. But as soon as the backflow of blood starts to happen, then the valve will close, and thereby the backflow of blood is stopped. You guys understood this concept, the working of valves? Everyone, please let me know.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. What about others? No, Priyanka.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, Abu, you have understood this. See what happens. See, in the case of the arteries, what we have learned in the case of arteries, the very first thing which we learned that heart pumps the blood, okay, now into the arteries, and arteries would be taking they would be carrying the blood away from the heart to different parts of the body. Then we learned that heart would be pumping blood into it with high pressure. So blood is being pumped into it already with a high pressure, okay, with a great amount of push, with great pressure. So thereby there is no chance that the blood will start to flow in the opposite direction. Okay. Yes, Priyanka, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Blood will not start to flow in the opposite direction in the case of arteries. Okay. But what happens in the case of the veins? The blood flow in it is not occurring at a high pressure. It is not occurring at a high pressure. Okay, no, the blood is not flowing at a very high pressure in this. So what might happen that it might sometime travel in the opposite direction. Okay, because the veins would be carrying all the bloods from the body towards the heart. The function of the vein is to carry deoxygenated blood, polluted blood from all the bodies towards the heart. Hmm? So thereby the heart is not pumping blood into it, but heart is rather receiving the blood from the veins. Like if I were to show you this image over here what we get to see now, that veins should be carrying the blood into the heart. Veins should be carrying the blood into the heart. So is there any organ that is pumping the blood into the heart? Hmm? We only know that the heart pumps the blood into the arteries. Okay, we know about that. But the blood that is coming into the heart, it will be coming with a slow pressure, with a slow speed. Getting what I'm trying to say? So let me tell you the points where, look over here. This arrow over here that you see, the blood is coming via this blood vessel into the heart. This arrow that you see, the blood is coming into the heart. And where is all this blood coming from? From the different parts of the body, different cells of the body. Okay, no? And different cells of the body would be sending all the waste materials to here, right now. And particularly, they are the veins. Veins would be bringing it. Getting it, guys? So, veins would be bringing the polluted blood towards the heart. Basically, blood that will contain carbon dioxide and other waste like urea. Okay. So, they are not coming at a high pressure. So sometime what might happen, the blood that is coming towards the heart, it might start flowing in the backward direction. Now you're just getting it what I'm trying to say. Suppose, say for example, let us say that this is for example, your muscle cells, for example. This is a muscle cell of any part of your body, let us say. So there what will happen in that part of your body, respiration will be happening. Okay, what are the byproducts of respiration? Which waste product is produced in respiration?
Carbon dioxide.
Hmm. And water also. Okay, now. So carbon dioxide that will be produced by these cells. Now it needs to be expelled from the body. So first of all, it will via the veins, it will go towards the human heart. Right now, it will go to the human heart, isn't it, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So it will be flowing at a low pressure towards the heart, not at very high pressure, because it is not being pumped by your muscles now. Is your muscle pumping? Huh?
So,
No, our muscle is not pumping this into the blood now. So
Yes,
rather
sir.
it will move at a slow. There's some background noise. It will rather move at a slow speed towards the heart. So sometime what might happen, it might start to flow in the backward direction, because the pathway of the veins, it is not very straight like a road. Huh? When you look at our body, see, look how complex the pathway of the blood vessels in our body looks like. Just look at this image over here. You can clearly see that the blood vessels are bent at different places. They are bent at different places in our body. So the pathway is not very smooth now. So sometimes the blood might start to flow in the opposite direction. In order to stop that, we have a structure called as valves. I believe by now it should be clear to everyone, I think. Here you can see that these valves have came together to close like this, and hence the backflow of blood stops. Suleiman, you understood this? Priyanka, Shreya, Aman, everyone?
yes, sir.
Anna,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
good. Suleiman, turn your camera on in the class And Aman, you also. Now we are going to talk about the veins. Okay. Not thick wall here, it is thin wall. Okay, now. So veins are wide. They would be much wider as compared to the arteries. Okay, now. Also, one more thing about the arteries is that the arteries are narrow. They are narrower than the veins. That is another thing about them. Okay, now. So they do not have arteries do not have valves, as the blood in the arteries always flows in the right direction due to the pumping of the heart, and also they are narrow so that blood can flow through them quickly. You guys tell me, like, if you have a narrow pipe or if you have a wide pipe, via which one of them water will flow easily or faster?
Sir, by the straight pipe.
A straight pipe and a narrower pipe, the one that is more narrower. Have you guys even watered the garden using a water pipe? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Huh? So there, if you were to have good, if you were to have a narrower pipe, so thereby the flow of water will be faster in that now. It is faster,
Yes, sir.
isn't it, guys? Okay, so you can relate from that. So the arteries are narrower so that the flow of blood can in it can be faster. It is narrower so that blood can flow in it faster. So where we have ended writing about the arteries, write one more point in this, then we would be concluding this, that arteries are narrower, so blood flows faster, faster in it. Write down this last point. And for those of you who are not writing down anything, I would be asking for it after the class.
Done, sir.
Done, everyone? All right.
No, sir.
Okay, write it. Next, we'll be learning about veins. Done, Priyanka? And others?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Talking about the veins, look at the second image over here. Here, first observation is that they have a thinner wall. Okay. Another thing is that they have a valve present in them and they are wider. So first feature about them is that they are thin walls are present in them. Next thing is that they are wider and they have a structure called valve present in them. Okay. Talking about the main function of the veins. So the main function of the vein is to carry the blood that is rich in carbon dioxide from our cells, from our organs towards the heart. So that is the main function of vein. Now, since the blood will be flowing at a low pressure in the veins, so thereby their walls are thinner. There's no need to have, like, the walls are not thicker because blood is not flowing at a high pressure. Blood is flowing at a low pressure, hence the walls of veins are thinner. Also, they are wider because the flow of blood in the vein is slower as compared to the artery. And they have a structure called as valve because sometimes the blood can flow in the because sometimes backflow of blood can occur. In order to stop that, these valves are present which will close whenever the blood will flow in the opposite direction. Okay, now, and then it will open also. It's not like it will then um, permanently close. No, then it will open. Otherwise the flow of blood will be completely stopped and blocked. Getting it now? So the following things which we have learned about veins so far is that the first thing, it would be carrying the blood that is rich in oxygen. Next things which we learned, that it is having a thin wall, it is more wider, and has a structure called as valve present in it. Okay, na? So veins contain valves to stop blood flowing backwards. Now, how can blood flow in the backward direction? Hmm? Say, for example, the flow of the blood that is happening inside our body. So gravity is also influencing that flow of blood. You guys getting what I'm trying to say? The gravity will also be influencing that. I mean to say that, for example, say that our legs, for example. So in our legs also veins are present now. Of course, veins are present in our muscles of our legs also. I can have a look at this image over here. So gravity would be pulling the blood towards the downward direction, isn't it, guys? Yeah, Suleiman, Priyanka, and others. Yeah. So gravity will be pulling the blood towards the downward direction. But will the blood flow towards the downward direction? Actually, no. So there are structures called as valves present in it that will flow the opposite movement of the blood. So valves would also help to it will also stop the backflow of blood due to gravity. Okay, no? So this line is important, that veins contains valves to stop blood flowing backwards due to gravity. Okay, no? This line is not important. Getting this, guys? So logically, how does that happen? Say that this is a vein. Say that this is a vein and it is going towards the muscles. This one is over vein, and this is the muscle of your leg, for example. Try to understand. I'm taking a very general example. Muscles of the legs. So the gravity will be pulling everything towards the downward direction. Okay. But the blood has to return back towards the heart also, no? Like the blood that is flowing in the vein, it has to return back to the heart also, right? But the gravity is pulling it in the downward direction. But there are structures called as valves that will prevent the backflow of the blood. Okay, now how it will do so, as you guys have understood this here. Okay, now try to understand this one example, that the backflow of blood, it is influenced by gravity. You guys try to understand this carefully. So gravity is pulling the blood in the downward direction. Oh, but the blood has to go back to the heart now. The blood has to go towards the heart, isn't it? So this is the upward direction, and as you know that the heart is situated in the upper part of the human body, right? This is the heart, for example. And these are the blood, this is the blood going towards the heart. And gravity always acts on anything in the downward direction. So gravity will be pulling the blood in the downward direction. But as soon as the blood starts to flow in the downward direction, these valves will close and thereby stop the backflow of blood. So this is how it is important. Okay. So valves are present in the veins that will flow of the blood. So the things which we have learned so far, you guys please let me know if you guys have confusion in any one of the topic, because if you don't understand it now, later it will be difficult.
So after this whale stop that backward flow of blood, what would
Hmm.
happen after that?
Okay, what would happen after that? Okay, then afterwards, what will happen? No, like a good a pressure will develop over here. Okay, no, a pressure of the blood will develop over here, and then it will start to flow normally as it was supposed to be flowing. Okay, no.
Okay, sir.
So that is the thing. Anyone else? Priyanka, you understood this? Aman, Suleiman, Abu Bakr, the things which we have learned so far about veins, you guys have understood this or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me just quickly sum it up. If anyone has any doubt, please let me know. The first thing we learned that they carry the blood from the different parts of the body. Basically, they would be carrying the carbon dioxide rich blood from body different body organs towards the heart. That is the first thing which we learned. Then we learned that veins are not thicker; they have thin walls. Right now, as blood pressure in them is not that much high, it is quite low. Also, they are slightly wider as compared to the arteries. They are slightly wider because the flow of blood in it is slow, hence it is wider. Then they have a structure called as valve that will prevent the blood from flowing in the opposite direction. Why sometimes blood will flow in the opposite direction? Because of gravity, because gravity pulls everything in the downward direction. But the blood from every part of the body is supposed, particularly from the lower part of the body, it would be moving in opposite direction. No? Like the veins that are connected from your brain, it will be flowing in the direction, in the positive direction of the gravity. It is flowing in the direction of the gravity, isn't it? Yeah. But the veins that are present in your hand, like this, like this over here, or in your limbs, in your legs, so it is going to it is moving against the direction of gravity now. Getting it now? So how does that happen? Because of a structure called as valves. If you guys have any confusion in this, please let me know. I'm going to tell you what are the important points you guys are going to write down. First of all of you give the topic veins and then write the definition. So you'll write that these blood these blood vessels carry blood that is rich in carbon dioxide. That is rich in carbon dioxide and transports it to the heart. Write down this point. Furthermore, you will write down that they do not have thick walls. They do not have thick walls as the blood pressure in them is quite low. As the blood pressure in them is quite low. Then next point you will write down that it is wider. After having written down that, then you will write down veins contain this one over here. The veins contain valves. Veins contain valves to stop blood flowing backwards due to gravity. Okay, now write down this much. Then I will be explaining one more point. Okay, Arush, 1 minute.
Sir,
Yeah.
after blood pressure and then after that what is it?
Okay. The blood pressure in them, IN, in them is quite low. LOW, low. Okay.
So like after that, like
Which one? Please repeat again.
in them is after that.
Is quite low. QUITE. Quite low. In
Okay,
them is quite low.
thank you, sir.
Okay, okay, no worries. Everyone done?
Yes, sir. Thanks.
Okay. Now, if anyone is left, please raise your hand. Also, you have a feature called like you can raise your hand if you have any doubts or any question. Yes, Abu. So everyone quickly finish writing this down. Then we are going to learn about one more thing. Now in the upper image, as you can see over here, you can clearly see that. Okay, Abu. Okay, you're writing it. Okay. So in this image, you guys can see over here that this vein is further branching. It is further branching into smaller structures, into small tubes. You guys can look over here. Look where I'm pointing. The one that is in blue color. Okay. So this vein will further branch into smaller veins that will be called as venules. Just like we did learn about arteries, they branch into arterioles. What do they branch into?
Arterial.
Arterioles. So veins would be branching into venules. So it is just the smaller. This they are just smaller in size. They are also vein, but smaller in size. Arterioles are also arteries. They are smaller in size. That is the thing. Okay. Now this whole structure that you see over here, this structure is called as capillaries. This we'll be learning later on in a minute. So next thing you guys would be continuing from where you have ended, you will write down small veins are called venules. Small veins are called venules. Write this point.
Sir, should you also write veins contain valves to
Yeah,
stop blood flowing?
yeah, I told you that after writing down this point, you have to write this point. After writing veins contain valves to stop blood flowing backward due to gravity, write down this one. Then at the end, you will write down this point.
Done,
Small
sir.
veins
Sir,
are called venules.
continuation or
Yeah, in continuation, you will write down this in the next
okay,
paragraph, in the next line. Okay.
done, sir.
Hmm. So all of you honestly tell me the things which we have learned about veins. All of you have understood it conceptually or not?
Yes, I understand.
Mhm. So all of you answer the following questions which I'm going to ask. All of you have to participate in this. Everyone. So do tell me, in the artery or in the vein, in which one of the two the blood pressure is high? The pressure of blood flow is high.
Arteries.
Good. Now Priyanka, you will answer to me. In which one of the two valves are present?
Sir, what?
Valves are present in which one?
Veins.
Blood in veins. Okay, good. Suleiman, you will answer. In which one of the two is wider? Is it artery or vein?
So can I say?
No, just let him try. Suleiman, are you even there in the class or not? Suleiman, are you there in the class or not?
He is there, sir.
Yeah, he's there, but he's not responding actually. Aman, you there in the class? Yes, Aman. Yeah. Answer the given question. Which one of the two is wider, artery or vein? Yes, Aman. You getting the concepts which you are learning here? You can take the help from the slide also. Just look at the slide. It is already written here. Abu Bakr, you answer this then. Which one of the two is wider? Yes, Abu Bakr. Out of artery and vein, which one is wider? You understand what is wider, no? Which one is wider? Okay, those of you who know, answer this.
Sir,
Veins.
veins, sir.
Veins are wider clearly. Okay, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and how it is related to pressure? If the blood is flowing at high pressure, then logically the walls should be thicker, no? Otherwise, it will rupture, it will break. Say, for example, you have a water pipe, and in that water pipe, the water is flowing at very high pressure, and that water pipe is very thin. So that water pipe will develop holes from different places. It will rupture now. Okay, you had answer, Abu Bakr. Yeah, good. Right now, I saw that. So it will rupture now, guys. So logically speaking, also the arteries have thicker walls because pressure of blood flow in them is quite high. But in the case of veins, the blood is not flowing at high pressure. So even if their wall is thin, it will manage. It will not be a big problem. Okay. So do tell me, in order to stop the backflow of the blood, what structure is present in the blood vessels, particularly in the veins?
Valves.
Valves are present, right? Okay. Now you guys look at this image over here. The one that you see, these blood vessels that are visible on the skin, huh? These are the veins, right now. So right now you are looking at the veins, not at the arteries, because veins are the only blood vessels that are close to the surface of our skin, and hence they are visible. Getting it now? So veins are visible. This is not the artery that is visible. Okay, that is first thing. Next thing is that why arteries are not visible? Because arteries lie quite deep inside the body,
Yes, sir.
right now. So that is the reason over here. So hope that thing is clear so far. Okay. Now we are going to quickly summarize the differences between arteries and veins. Then we are going to continue learning about blood capillaries. Okay, now. So you guys quickly recollect the concepts which we have learned just now. Okay, now, because you guys have to answer this. Okay. So arteries, and on other side you have veins. Now start. We have to write the differences between the two. Okay, yeah. You guys start answering. The first difference.
Veins are wider than arteries.
Okay, starting from the very basic thing, talking about their function first of all. Let us start from you, Priyanka, as you were
Veins.
answering. Then you will be also answering, Shreya. Yes, Priyanka. Yes, the first difference. Okay, Shreya, you answer.
Arteries contain oxygen-rich blood while veins contain carbon dioxide-rich blood.
Very good. So they carry oxygenated blood. From where to where?
From the heart to the other
Hmm,
body parts and cells.
very good. So from heart to body parts. Good. And in the case of veins, as we know that they carry deoxygenated blood, right? Deoxygenated blood basically will mean that a blood that will contain carbon dioxide, we call it as deoxygenated blood also. From where to where the flow will be happening?
From the cells and the body parts to the
Hmm,
heart.
good. Cells, tissues, or organs towards the heart. Okay. Suleiman, next difference you will be mentioning. Yes, Suleiman, you there in the class? Aman, you answer the next difference quickly. We don't have that much of time. Okay, you are in the class, Suleiman. Okay, but you are not responding. Are you facing some network issue? Abu Bakr, you mentioned the next difference. Yes, quickly. Okay, you guys answer it then.
Sir,
Yeah.
can we write like smaller arteries are called arterioles?
Can we write?
Smaller arteries are called arterioles.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. Yeah. Of course, we can write that down also. So smaller arteries are called as arterioles, smaller veins are called as venules. So we can write that down, but that is not that much of not a very important difference between the two. First of all, let us write down the important differences only, no? So talking about the walls of which one is thicker?
Arteries have thick walls while veins do.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thick walls, thin walls. Okay, next.
Veins are wider than arteries.
Veins are wider. Very
Wider,
good.
wide.
Very good. They are narrower. Right? Very good. And then one more thing we have learned. Very important thing.
Valves are present
Hmm.
in only in veins, not in arteries.
Very good. Valves are present. And here valves are absent. Okay, no? Okay, Suleiman, I understand your problem. Like there you had a problem. Okay. Yeah, Abu Bakr. Very good. Veins are wider. So these are the main important differences which we have learned about arteries. Now, what I want you guys to do, all of you, just take a picture. Just take a picture of the notes which you have written today and share it to the team. I would like to have a look at it. Okay.
Sir,
So that's it for today. In the next class, we'll be learning about capillaries. What are capillaries? What are their functions? Also in this image, you can see all these are the blood capillaries that are visible over here. They're very thin blood vessels. Okay, now they are they are thinner than veins and arteries. Okay, we'll be learning about that one. Then we'll be learning about the blood groups also. So that's it for today. We'll be meeting in next class then.
thank you, sir. Bye.
Yes, bye.